This is Lalita Singh and you are going to study science with me. Today we are discussing second part of chapter 7 that is called physical and chemical change. In our previous video, we have talked about what is physical change, what is chemical change. We have also seen certain examples of physical change and certain examples of chemical change. Right? And we have also seen what is the characteristic shown by a substance when it goes through the chemical chain. We have also seen the differentiation between physical and chemical change with some other example like what happened when vinegar is mixed with the baking soda and what happened when iron and sulfur are kept together without heating and after heating. Now, next is rusting. You may have heard the word rusting of iron. Okay, see over here, we are having an iron object which is rusted. See over here, this is another picture which is showing you rusting very clearly. This is the shiny chain, whereas this is the rusted portion. A rusted portion look reddish brown in color. So what is this rust? How does it get formed? Rust is a reddish brown substance that appear on the surface of iron article when they are left exposed in presence of moist air and oxygen together for a long period of time. Okay, whenever the iron is exposed in moisture along with oxygen, iron react to form this reddish brown substance which is weaker in nature. This reddish brown substance is actually ferrous oxide or iron oxide. The change can be represented by this formula in which iron react with water and oxygen to form rust, that is hydrated iron oxide. Fe to Fe plus H2O plus 3 by 2 O2 is equal to Fe2O3 dot H2O. Understood? Now, as the definition suggests, there is a two substance that is in need, that are water vapor or moisture along with oxygen. These two substances are needed to form rust. Clear? Now see, to prove that condition necessary for rusting to take place, we are going to do activity number 11. You can see in this activity, to perform this activity, we need 3 test tubes, 3 clean and shiny iron nail, anhydrous calcium chloride cork to cover the test tube, boiled water, oil, tap water and test tube stand, so that we can make these test tube stand over here without any problem. Now we will take these 3 test tubes and we will label them as A, B and C respectively. Now place a shiny iron nail in each of them. Okay, now we are going to see over here, these are the substances that we need: test tube, iron nail, cork, anhydrous calcium chloride and oil. Now these shiny iron nail are placed inside the test tube like this. Okay, and then we will add some of the substances to these test tube. First of all, in the first test tube, we are going to add normal tap water which we get from our house. Okay, in the second test tube, we have used boiled water along with the mustard oil. Okay, boiled water so that all the dissolved oxygen from water can be removed. When we are heating water, the dissolved gases which is present in the water, they get expand. Because of expansion, they become more lighter in weight and they will rise up and ultimately leave the water content. Okay, so the water will become without oxygen. At that condition, we are going to pour the water into this test tube and then we will add few drops of mustard oil. Why? Because mustard oil are lighter than water. They will float on the surface of test tube. In this way, it will break the contact between the air and water. In this way, no more oxygen can be dissolved into this boiled water. Okay, now in C we have placed anhydrous calcium chloride. Okay, in test tube C we have placed anhydrous calcium chloride. Now see over here. When we have left it for a longer period of time, what will happen? The test tube A, which was having iron nail inside the tap water, now get rusted. You can see clearly it is now rusted. Whereas the iron nail present in B, in which we are having boiled water, okay, and the one in which we have added anhydrous calcium chloride is not rusted. Why? Do you have idea? Because see over here, in test tube A we have used tap water. So the air is present over here, air which is also carrying oxygen. Iron nail is present over there and water is also present. So nail is exposed both in air and water. So it got rusted like this. Understood? In test tube B, see over here. In test tube we have added the boiled water along with oil. You can see the upper film of oil. Okay, so we have boiled the water to remove the oxygen content from the water. In this way, in this test tube B, we are having boiled water along with no oxygen. So the iron nail is coming in contact with water, but the oxygen is absent, so reaction will never take place. In this way the nail will not get rusted. Now in test tube C, see over here, we have placed anhydrous calcium chloride. This is very important substance because it can absorb moisture from the immediate environment, and now the immediate environment is the inside of test tube. When we have placed this anhydrous calcium chloride inside the test tube, it has absorbed all the moisture from the test tube. In this way the iron nail is coming in contact with the oxygen, but there is no moisture to support the reaction. So in this way, when the reaction is going to take place, the two iron nail from the test tube B and C will not get rusted, whereas in A it will get rusted. Understood? Now see, next is method to prevent rusting. We already know that when the iron will come in contact with moisture and air, then only it can get rusted. So to stop this rusting process, we need to cut the supply of oxygen or moisture with iron. Okay, so to prevent rusting, we are having 4 methods over here. The first one is coating an iron article with paint. When we are applying a layer of paint on the iron article, it form a barrier in between the air moisture which is present in the atmosphere and the iron nail. It form a boundary line. Okay, and that cannot let the moisture or oxygen cross and to meet the iron. Okay, it is basically breaking the contact. Applying coat of paint on iron article prevent them from coming in contact with iron. See over here, you can clearly see this by this picture. This gate was made up of iron, but now it is coated with a layer of paint. Because of paint, the air or moisture is not coming in contact with the iron. Hence, the iron gate is very much prevented from rusting. This may have been seen by you in your own house. The grills of the window are made up of iron, but we paint them to prevent rusting. Clear? The next method is applying a layer of grease. Applying grease is also a method to reduce rusting. This grease is also breaking the contact between the air and iron. Air that is containing oxygen and moisture, and iron, the contact is gotten broken down over here with the help of grease, because we have applied a layer of grease on iron object. Now the next process is galvanization. The processes of depositing a layer of zinc on iron. Okay, a process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron object is known as galvanization. This is done by the mean of electrolysis process. Okay, it is not putting a layer. It is means it is chemically we over there we are chemically putting a layer of zinc on iron which is bounded together. Now see over here, this is what a zinc look like. Okay, this is what a zinc is. When we are putting a layer of zinc on iron object, this is the result of it. Okay, these are all galvanized iron object. Now inside it is having iron. Because of it is stronger as iron. Okay, it is stronger such as iron. And now over here on the top of iron we are having a layer of this zinc. What will happen then? Then air will not come in contact with the inside iron. In this way our iron is protected and the structure are very much strong. Now next process is making alloy. What is alloy? Alloy are the article which is made by mixing some metals and non-metals together. We know that over here you can see this is stainless steel which is an alloy of iron. Okay, so we can alloying iron to make stainless steel. Now how does this stainless steel is formed? See, stainless steel is a special substance which is made by mixing some carbon, metals like chromium, manganese, magnesium and iron. By this process, mixing of metal and non-metal together, we are getting an alloy that is called stainless steel. Understood? It is kind of shiny, have the strength of iron and have a shine of chromium. In this way, it is prevented from the rust. Okay, the process of mixing the metal and non-metal is called alloying. The new substance formed by mixing is called alloy. So it is an alloy of iron. Okay, alloy is successful in preventing the process of rusting. Now the next topic is crystallization. You may have learned in class 6 that we get salt by evaporating the seawater. Why? Because seawater is too saline. Okay, as seawater is salty to taste, we evaporate the water. Because of it, the salt granule can be obtained from the seawater. Okay, the process of obtaining crystals from the solution is known as crystallization. Clear? The process of forming crystal from a solution is known as crystallization. Let us know how to make crystal out of a salt solution. For this we are going to do activity number 12 to make crystal of copper sulfate. Okay, for this we need a test tube, water burner, teaspoon, copper sulfate and a strier, filter paper and a test tube stand. Now see how we are going to do this. See over here. This is the copper sulfate solution and this is crystals of copper sulfate. This solution is already in saturated condition. It means no more copper sulfate can be added into this solution. Understood? But after heating it, can we make some amount of copper sulfate in this solution? Yes, we can. Why? Because after heating, the capacity of solvent like water to dissolve the solute increased. Okay, it means now the copper sulfate solution can take more amount of copper sulfate. So we will add copper sulfate. Time to time we will add until it stop dissolving over here. Okay, we will add more amount of copper sulfate in this copper sulfate solution and we will keep on heating it until it is still dissolving the copper sulfate. We will continue to add. Once there is a condition come, when there is a condition in which no more copper sulfate is dissolved even in saturated condition, then what will we do? We will stop. Okay, stop adding more amount of copper sulfate solution. Now next what will happen? We will take another beaker or a glass. We will take anything as a stand. Over here we have taken a pencil with a thread. Thread is needed so that crystal can get attached to this thread. Okay, so this setup will be like this, and then we will add filtered copper sulfate super saturated solution. Super saturated means this solution, when in saturated solution we have keep on adding more and more amount of copper sulfate to dissolve it. Now the solution get converted into super saturated solution. Then we will filter this solution by the help of filter paper to remove all the lumps from the solution, and then we will pour it out in another glass which is having a thread hanging inside the glass, so that crystals can get deposited on this thread. Now see over here, after putting it over there for a period of time, after putting this thread in this glass for a long period of time, we can get this type of shiny crystals which is hanging from the thread. Okay, these crystals are what? These are the crystals of copper sulfate. Understood? The salt from this is this super saturated solution get precipitated out when the solution returned to cool temperature. Over here it was very warm, but when we have left it in open for a very long period of time, what will happen? It will suddenly get cooled down. Okay, and because of cooled condition, what will happen? The extra amount of copper sulfate which we have add in this glass will started to get deposited. Understood? This activity can be also performed with the help of sugar. If you will dissolve sugar in water, there will be a stage in which no more amount of sugar can be dissolved. At that time you can heat it up to add more and more amount of sugar. After that, what will you do? You will hang this type of thread from any structure inside the container in which you are going to pour the super saturated solution of sugar. Okay, and then you will leave it like that for a longer period of time, like about 1 week. Okay, what will happen then? The sugar crystals will get deposited in this thread which you have hanged from the sugar solution. Now over here we are having the crystals of copper sulfate solution because we have used super saturated solution of copper sulfate. Understood? Now next is, after this is question answer. We will do the question answers. Okay class, let's move on to checkpoint 1.
See, rust is reddish brown substance that appear on the surface of iron article when they are left exposed in moist air. The chemical changes that occur during rusting can be represented as iron plus water plus oxygen is equal to rust, or 2Fe plus H2O plus 3 by 2 O2 is equal to Fe2O3 dot H2O. This is your answer, okay, for this question. Now next question. Question number 3 is, what is stainless steel? Now move back to the alloy section. Okay, alloying section. See over here, can you see alloy portion in page number 87? Okay, alloy, fourth line. Okay, fourth line of alloy portion. See over here, after stainless steel, this stainless steel, after this bold letter stainless steel, you will write stainless steel is a special substance which is made by mixing some carbon and metals like chromium, manganese, magnesium with iron. Okay, now next question is, define alloying. Just after stainless steel it is given, the portion where you have marked just right now. Okay, see over here, the last line, second last line of alloy, the new substance formed by mixing metals or non-metals called alloy. Okay, the new substance formed by mixing non-metal or metal is called alloy. Understood? Next question. What is meant by crystallization? Now we will move back. Crystallization, the last line of page number 87. Second last line of page number 87. The process of forming crystal from a solution is called crystallization. Okay. Now next question. Question number 6. How does galvanization prevent rusting? Now move back to the galvanization portion for this. Okay. Galvanization, you will write the whole process of galvanization. It is a process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron. The coating of zinc does not allow the iron article to come in contact with air and moisture. Thus, it prevents rusting. Okay, next question. It is done. Now we are moving toward E1. Describe an activity to show that condition necessary for rusting to take place. For that you will have to write activity number 11. Okay, you have to write activity number 11. Over here, the test tube are keeping different substances. What I have explained you means numbering of test tube has been changed, nothing else. So you will not be panic for this. Okay, test tube A contains something, test tube B contains something, test tube C contains something which is little bit different from what I have told you. But the content are same. Only labeling of ABC are changed. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now next, explain the various methods by which rusting can be prevented. Okay, various methods through which rusting can be prevented is given over here. You will write about all these methods 1, 2, 3, 4. Coating of iron article with paint will be written in full. Coating with iron with grease will be written as full as well. Now galvanization will also be written as full. Alloying. Okay, in alloying, stainless steel is a special substance which is made by mixing some carbon metal like chromium, manganese, magnesium with iron. The process of mixing metal or non-metal is called alloying. The new substance that is formed is called alloy. Alloy prevent rusting up to this point. Okay, class. Now next is describe an activity to make crystals of copper sulfate. Third question. For that you will write activity number 12. You will write activity number 12. Okay. Next question. Question number 4. What are the characteristics of chemical change? Chemical changes having certain characteristics like change in color, formation of air bubble, and change in smell, absorption or release of energy. So you will write about these changes in the chemical changes are usually accompanied by, first is change in color. When iron nail is kept in copper sulfate solution, the solution become green in color, whereas iron nail turn into brown color. Now, release or absorption of energy in the form of heat or light when we burn magnesium ribbon. It gives a dazzling white light. Mg plus O is equal to MgO. Evolution of gas when zinc react with diluted hydrochloric acid, hydrogen gas is formed. You will write about it in full. Okay. Zinc plus hydrochloric acid is equal to zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. Now fourth is production of sound. When zinc react with hydrochloric acid, hydrogen gas is produced which burn with pop sound. This is your answer. Now change in smell. Some chemical changes result into change in smell of a substance. For example, rotting of egg and spoiling of food. This is your answer. Next question. Write the difference between physical and chemical change. It is given in the book. Physical and chemical change differences are already given in the book. It is in page number 84. Table 7.1. You will write this table down. Okay, next question. Look at the diagram and answer the following question. So this is the first diagram A. This is the diagram B. In A diagram, we are having vinegar with baking soda. In B diagram, we are having zinc plus hydrochloric acid. Now see over here, what is the first question? The first question is, which gas is released in the test tube A and B? Okay, test tube A, carbon dioxide gas is produced, whereas in test tube B, where zinc plus hydrochloric acid is involved, hydrogen gas is formed. Okay, what test will you perform to identify these gases? Okay, in case of A, we will pass the gas to the lime water, and if the lime water will change milky in color, we can say that this is carbon dioxide. Whereas in this case, we will bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. If the matchstick will burn with pop sound, it means it is hydrogen gas. Clear? Now next is 7. Represent the chemical changes that occur on. The first question is burning magnesium ribbon. See over here. For that you will write magnesium plus oxygen is equal to magnesium oxide. Okay. Yes. See. In the base reason, magnesium plus oxygen is equal to magnesium oxide. Clear? And in B, the question is written what will happen when magnesium oxide react with water. Then you will write magnesium oxide react with water to form magnesium hydroxide. So upper equation given over here is the answer of A, whereas lower equation which is given over here is the answer of B. Understood? Now see over here. Third, reacting zinc with diluted hydrochloric acid. Now move back again to the reaction zone. Zinc plus dilute hydrochloric acid, you will write the reaction of activity number 6. Zinc plus hydrochloric acid is equal to chloride, zinc chloride plus hydrogen. Okay, what will you write? Zinc plus hydrochloric acid is equal to zinc chloride and hydrogen. Okay, now next question. D. Reacting copper sulfate and an iron nail, and E is reacting iron filling with sulfur. Okay. What are they? D and E. See, this is the reaction for D. Copper sulfate plus iron is equal to ferrous sulfate plus copper. Understood? And what about E, in which iron with sulfur? When iron and sulfur together heated, they form iron sulfide. Okay, this is your answer for D and E. Now next question. First question of HOTS. Tina saw the volume of her perfume in the bottle has become less after a few days. Is it a physical or chemical change? It is a physical change. Why? Because perfume has just leave the space of the bottle and they are expanded in the room. They are just acquiring a larger area instead of smaller area. Okay, now next question. When carbon dioxide gas is passed into lime water, it turns milky. What could be the reason and what type of change is this? Okay, when carbon dioxide is passed through the lime water, it forms calcium carbonate. Because of it, it turns milky, and this is a chemical change. Now next is, it is often noticed that in coastal regions the article made up of iron get rusted faster. Can you think of a reason? Yes, of course, because in coastal region the air is having large amount of water vapor. Okay, if this water vapor along with oxygen come in contact with the iron article, obviously it will form rust. That is why rusting is more common in the coastal area. Okay class, so this is all about today's video. We have finished the chapter. In next video we will talk about next chapter.